Welcome back, Midnight Wanderers. I'm here again with another episode of I Played a Thing, East 3, Wanderers from East. First off, I'd like to thank you all very much for the many congratulations and well-wishings on the 10-year video. You're very kind. Now then, I think this is probably going to be our last episode. This is not a very long game and we don't have a lot left to do, so let's go ahead and wrap it on up. We are here in the prison of Valestein, where the townsfolk are still being held. They will not head back to town, as we discovered last episode, until I am completely done with Valestein, but that is not too far off at this point. We'll be going to a new area with new enemies shortly, but at max levels and best equipment, I think we're just about ready for it. Well, mostly the best equipment. We still do have to pick up the last sword, but it won't be terribly long until we can do that. And I believe what we needed to open that door is the blue armband we just got. It doesn't say, so I'm not entirely positive. At any rate, what we got going here is the clock tower, with a very cool music track, in my opinion, Sealed Time. This is my favorite version of Sealed Time, too. Sounds pretty good in every version of the game. But the Red Book audio is used to very good effect here. If you're not familiar with the term, Red Book audio is where it just uses regular audio CD tracks for the game music. This level's a little tricky, not so much for the enemies, but for all the platforming you need to do. Certainly more than in most areas of the game. But there are no death pits anywhere in East 3, so the worst that's going to happen to you is that you'll have to redo a little bit of the level from falling down. And we just got one more piece of ultimate equipment, the Protect Ring. The Protect Ring makes you invincible. Absolutely nothing can hurt you. However, it sucks out your ring energy at blockbuster speed, and so I don't tend to use it very much, and save my ring energy for things that last a little longer. There's our Sealed Time again. These, gun guys are a little tricky on account of just how fast their rate of fire is. You kind of have to try and sneak in your shots on them. Oh, shouldn't have taken that hit. But I can live with it because we just got the Flame Sword. Naturally, I'll be putting that on ASAP. Now we have all of the ultimate equipment. Uh-oh. You respawn. I don't like it when you respawn. I also don't like it when the get an item music knocks out the background music, because I want to hear more Sealed Time. It's really kind of a shame, the Flame Sword. Oh wait, does it actually change the sword palette? Oh, I'll be damned, it actually does. I was going to say it was a shame the Flame Sword doesn't actually have any visual change on your character, but it actually does turn your sword orange. I don't know how I managed to never notice that before. Well, from here on out, all we need to do is get to the end of the area, because there are no more items to collect. Ah, first try. That jump can be a little tricky, getting onto this high gear here from the chain mechanism. If I recall correctly, it is absolutely maddening on the Genesis version. You have to kind of attempt that jump over and over until you get it absolutely pixel perfect. The tall golden guys with the swords, I prefer not to mess with them generally. It takes a few hits to kill them, so a lot of the time they will just kind of poise through your sword attacks and do some damage to you. And I want to avoid damage as much as possible, because we're going to have a boss at the end of this area that is actually a reasonable challenge. I can't just charge ahead with my equipment in my current level and win a damage race with him. This part can be a little confusing at first, because this is a hook you can actually stand on. There isn't a... oh, there is a ball part, but you can't reach it. But you can actually stand on the hook, which, first time I did this area, it took me a little time to figure out. I'm doing reasonably here. Haven't taken too many hits. Again, we do have a actually technique requiring boss at the end of all this. I think we're just about there. Let's do a save game. We certainly don't need the lava pit anymore. This is kind of a nothing area. All we do have to do is climb up a few of these chains. When the hook is just a length of chain like that, I don't think you can stand on it. Nope, indeed you cannot. I think our boss might be in this next room. We'll find out in a moment. Nope, not quite yet. Sunset Hall. A lovely name for a lovely bridge. Oh yeah, this is the room.
Demonicus lives again! This human form is no longer necessary. If I get the statues, I'll have absolutely nothing to fear.
And you knew it was coming. This is our fight with Merlin, or Garland if you're nasty. When you're at close range, he'll blast you with lightning. If you're a little farther away, he'll throw a projectile at you. So he will be teleporting around quite a bit. Whenever he appears from teleport, you want to get your hits in real quick and then back away before the lightning hits you. He's also going to have some bouncing projectiles flying around the room, which are also best avoided because you want to minimize your damage as much as possible here. I think the power ring is going to be a good approach here. The shield ring, I think, is going to mean that we take too long to do damage to him. The longer this fight drains out, the more unnecessary hits you're going to take, so yeah, not a good situation. When that green thing appears at the top of his head, you know he's going to do his lightning, so that's one way you can see what's coming. It's very convenient when he teleports close to you, because then you can get your hits in without too much to worry. And as we do more and more damage to him, the bouncing projectiles will grow in number. I'm not really playing too great here, but we're doing pretty decent damage to him, so hopefully things will balance out in the end. Whew, nearly got hit there. Getting hit by the lightning is kind of bad. I think that's his most damaging attack. The projectile is a little less troublesome, and he's added a second bouncer into his repertoire already. You can probably tell by the amount of damage I'm taking per hit that trying to damage race this guy would not be a good idea at all. Not gonna try and get any hits there, he was just a little too far away. I'd probably walk right into the lightning if I tried it. This was kind of a rough start, took a bunch of hits early on, but things are looking better. I'm not gonna count on doing this without my harp, especially now. Yep, definitely time to break out that harp. But that's okay, he's at less than half, so I think I should be able to pull this off. Now, I think before we're all done here, we're going to get a third bouncing projectile. But at that point, he won't have much left in the tank. And as with many bosses in the late game, bumping into him is quite bad. Oh, there's the third bouncer. I knew it was coming eventually. Yeah, that didn't work out too bad at all. Adol has defeated Merlin. At all hears King McGuire's voice from behind the wall. At all I surrender. Come in.
I have been foolish. Why did I believe the words of Maryland? That devil! His only purpose was to return his master Demonicus to this world. Soon after Demonicus was revived, hideous monsters overran my beautiful castle. I am lost. My kingdom is falling into chaos and ruin. You must save me. The only hope left is in the power of the 4 statues. You must act quickly. Take them to the realm of Demonicus and seal him away with their power. Here, take this idol. Its power will aid you and help you to enter into the land of Demonicus. I am responsible for many evil acts. Now it's time to make up for my past and try to correct my errors. Can my people forgive me?
Adolf, I'm glad you are safe.
Whosoever tries to interfere with my return will suffer dearly. Adol, how do you like this? Don't worry. She is not dead. Yet. If you want her to live, bring the 4 statues to my domain.
Valestein Castle has been devastated, but not by my actions. It was Merlin and Chester. What am I fighting for? Dogi's village? Elena? I was helpless when Elena was taken away. I wonder if I am a true warrior after all. Well, I'm going to remember to take the ring off at least. So, the good news is, we've dealt with King McGuire and we still have the 4 statues. And he actually seems remorseful for all the shit he's put his country through. Well, hopefully things will improve as long as we can take care of the whole Demonicus/Galbaland thing. But first, let's have a chat with the rescued townsfolk. Adol, I thank you sincerely, and I speak for all the villagers.
What's wrong, Adol? Why the long face? You're a hero in these parts. Adol, where is Elena? Where is she?
Dogi, I've never felt this helpless in all my life. When Elena was taken by Demonicus, I could do nothing to save her, let alone challenge Demonicus. I am unsure of myself, Dogi. Am I ready? Am I strong enough?
Adol, you're a fine warrior. Only the truly strongest of men know their own weaknesses. Adol, Mayor Grady may be able to help you save Elena.
I would say the weakest of men would also be very conscious of their limitations, but that's just me. Oh, same stuff from him. Tonight there will be a great celebration. You, of course, will be the guest of honor. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, same thing from the guys. Wouldn't you like to stay with us? You are welcome to live here. Ah, Adol's a ramblin' man. Has Valestein Castle really been destroyed? We're free at last! Well, I wouldn't say it's been destroyed, but King McGuire does seem to want to make amends, so hopefully that'll work out for you. We know the mine has been damaged, but by working together, we will rebuild it. That's the spirit. They told me that you saved Roy from the castle prison. Grandma Ada is overjoyed. Yeah, let's check in with them. Poor Mayor Grady. He seems so worried. You're the one who saved me from the castle. Until now, I've never really appreciated freedom. Oh, same stuff. This is the happiest day of my life. My son has returned, and those rascals in Valestein are gone. Rascals is such an old lady insult. Alright, Dogie said we ought to check in with Mayor Grady, so let's do exactly that.
Adel, my boy, how can I thank you for all you've done? You had better give me those statues now. Your part is finished.
No, Mayor, let me go fight Demonicus.
What? Surely someone must go. But whoever goes may not return alive. You are still young. There are many things you haven't learned, my boy.
If I don't go, then for the rest of my life I will think I failed.
Grady, let Adel go. He is not just a drifter. Adel is an adventurer. I'm sure he knows his life may be in danger, but there are some things that a man just can't back away from. You should have faith in Adel.
Adel. Then take this with you. It will be helpful in your fight.
That all? Don't get yourself killed. And that's the plan, Dogie. That's the plan. If anything should happen to you, just be careful, my boy. Alright, while we're in town, it would be a very good idea to top up on my ring power and replace my harb. Alright, we are just about ready to head to Demonicus' island and take him on and rescue Elena. There is just one hitch, though. I am really going to want that necklace before I go. It is possible to finish the game without it, but it makes a very good insurance policy, and that means I'm going to have to grind up some money. So I'm going to head on over back to Valestein and chop up a few enemies, and then when I've got 50,000 gold, I will be back, and I will see you then. I'm in the money. I'm in the money. We now have just a little more than we need to purchase that necklace, and that will do. Big chunk of change, but the necklace functions essentially as an extra life. Whenever your HP run down to 0, it will restore them to full. Only works once, of course, but very, very helpful in the endgame, and if we don't need it for the endgame, when will we? Our new map location simply says Demonicus in this version. In the Genesis, I think it says Demonicus Island, whereas in the other versions it's called Genos Island, named for the guy who sealed Demonicus so long ago. Oh, Adol and sea travel aren't a very good combination, but this time he makes it without any particular incident. Through rather rough waters, too. Kind of impressive, really. The eyes of the Goblin Idol start shining, and the gates open with a heavy thud. I don't really know why you need the Goblin statue here. I mean, why you need it is obvious, but why the game bothers with something like that, I don't know. Reason being, you can't even get here without getting the Goblin statue from King McGuire, so it's not as if you could miss it. Let's save over the chapel here. Demonicus Cave. Now, when we enter, we find things to be very dark. What we have to do is put our active item as the fire jewel we just got from Mayor Grady. And that'll make a spotlight slide back and forth on the screen. This may seem annoying, and Lord knows there are a few things I hate more than a limited visibility maze, but it could be much, much worse. In the Genesis version, the spotlight swings around drunkenly, and is not reliably in any place at any particular point in its cycle. I think it moves semi-randomly, in fact. Also making things less obnoxious is the fact that we only have this one enemy type here, the skeleton. We will encounter nothing else until we get to the very end game, so we should have it made in the shade. They do a lot of damage if they happen to hit you, but avoiding them is not particularly difficult. They don't swing their swords or anything. I would like to go down here, please. Doesn't this go down? Okay, I thought that was the... Oh, it is the way I need to go. Just wasn't triggering it right for whatever reason. And I believe I can get it to take me down again. Yeah, there we go. That is what I needed. The skeletons do move fairly quickly, so I want to take things cautiously moving forward, because we are going to have 2 boss fights in the endgame. So I will want to conserve my strength as much as possible by not doing things like that. That's really kind of cheap. You have to fall to the left here to find the proper way forward, and they put a couple of skeletons right there to give you a whack. Oh well, can't be helped. I don't mean by can't be helped that it's impossible to do that without taking damage, but point is I've taken the damage now and there's nothing really to be done about it. We will just give this our best shot, and if I have to reload before Demonicus Cave, then I'll do exactly that. Okay, I mentioned 2 boss fights in the endgame. One of them is going to be here, and it will be a very familiar boss fight indeed. I am about to fight Garland DX, who works entirely like Garland did before. He actually has less health, and I'll be able to take him out pretty fast, which helps matters immensely. But there is one major downside to fighting him, and you will see what that is very soon. Power ring goes on.
You may not go any farther. Prepare to die.
Gotta remember he leads off with the lightning. Oh, well, there he is. Oh, this isn't good. I'm taking hits that I really shouldn't. Those foreground columns can be a little aggravating. Sometimes they block your view of the bouncing projectile. Sometimes they block your view of Garland. Well, that sucked. Normally I use far less than my half health. This time I lost quite a bit more than half health. Well, we'll drop a save, and if I have to restart the area, then I'll restart the area, and I can always edit my way back here. And by this point you may have noticed that bad news I was talking about. Yes, Garland DX is the only enemy in the game, or rather the only boss in the game, that will not recover your health after you defeat him. Nice little visual effect here. Reminds me of that tower stage from Dynamite Heady. Or Battletoads, for that matter.
Adolf, wait!
Sup, Chet?
I'm the one who caused this. You shouldn't die because of my foolishness.
Welcome, Adol. I admire your courage.
Demonicus, where is Elena?
Take a look right here.
Please, stay away!
Elena! Let Elena go! She has nothing to do with this! Take me instead!
What I need are those statues that Adol has. I don't need you. Brother and sister dying together. What a nice image. All right, Adol. See what happens to those who oppose me.
Demonicus, prepare to die! I will avenge all those who died by your hand!
Chester, don't! Why do you always turn to fighting? Why must there always be killing? Both you and Demonicus are living beings, with emotions and feelings. Why?
Elena, I know only too well. But this is the real world. If we don't kill him, he will kill us. If Demonicus is not killed, the human race may be destroyed.
I hope you are finished with your goodbyes. Because now it is time to die.
Just wait right there, Demonicus. The statues, you can have them, but if those two are hurt, you'll never get them.
Crafty boy, aren't you? Step up onto the platform with the statues.
I like the way the music track for the conversation between Chester, Elena, and Demonicus ends right there, when the platform appears. Now we're back to the previous track. So that whole conversation to me is kind of a hoot. The business with Elena talking about Demonicus and Chester being living beings? Living beings with feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions, ooh la la. And Chester's response, this is the real world! I don't know, I just find something about that very funny. Anyway, if this smells like N-Boss to you, then good sense of smell on your part. And I think I'm going to take a gamble here and get my health up a bit with the heal ring, and then I'll just use the Brocia serum to restore some of my ring power. Galbalan isn't actually all that hard, so I think I'll actually be okay. Alright, that's a little more like it health-wise. We'll use the Brocia serum. Get a respectable chunk of it back. Alright. Power ring active. Harb active. And we've got the necklace in reserve, so yeah, I think we're pretty well set up for this. Well, let's do it.
Now begins my reign over the world. As my first act, I will give you a taste of my true power.
So, Galbalan does a lot of damage with his projectiles, and they're fairly difficult to avoid just because he pumps out so many of them. Which is why you want to have lots of healing here, so bringing the Harb and the necklace along is a very good idea. And when his projectiles have a little break in them and no new ones are flying out, then you want to stop jumping and hitting him for a little while. Harb? As I was saying, when you don't see any new projectiles coming out of him for a little while, you want to stop jumping, because that electrical thing he does between his spikes that launches the 6-way projectile, or is it 8-way? Anyway, the multi-directional projectile, if you get caught in that electricity, you will get really fucked up and quite possibly die. May not even need the necklace, though. I'm doing alright here. And that'll do it.
My brother went to the center of the land of Demonicus. He is going to destroy all of it. No, Adol, don't go! My brother says it's his fault, so he should be the one to deal with Demonicus. Adol, please! Of course I care! We lived together for more than 17 years. I believe in my brother. I have faith. He will return. There is one thing I have to tell you. There is a legend in these parts that a long time ago, a brave young man locked Demonicus away. The village that my brother and I were born in was founded by the descendants of this brave man. King McGuire feared that his plans to bring back Demonicus would be in danger as long as these descendants lived. That is why he destroyed our village. My brother is the only one left who knows the secret that will crush the world of Demonicus. If Demonicus is to be put away for good, my brother must go. It's all right, Adol, as long as you understand. Oh, Adol.
It's all done. Adol, please take care of Elena.
Should we really leave so soon? Yes, it is best. Adol, I have some final things to do before we leave. Why don't you go on ahead?
And we have control again. We're not put into the ending sequence just yet. The only thing left to do at this point is leave town, but contrary to Adol's idea about not letting any of the villagers know, it wouldn't be right if we didn't say goodbye to at least a few of the major characters. Go on ahead. I'll catch up with you when I'm done.
Adol, must you really leave us?
There is one thing I would like you to promise me, Mayor Grady.
What is it that I may do for you, my boy? You may ask anything.
Someday I may return, and when I do, I would like to see a booming, prosperous city.
Oh, that's an easy promise. There will be a rich and beautiful city here for your return.
We will all miss you. Ah, that's sweet, Mayor. I owe you my life, Adol. Now I dream of traveling the world and being like you. Aw, we're a role model. What are you doing up so early? I'm sorry, Adol, but the shop does not open until 8 a.m. Now here's something weird. The armorer actually gets a voiced line of dialogue, which does not happen for him anywhere else in the game.
You sure are an early riser, Adol. What are you doing with all that luggage? Are you going on a trip?
Yep, that's the plan.
You are really leaving, Adol. I wish you could stay. Where is Dogi? Aren't you leaving together?
Elena, are you sure? You'll never meet another fellow like Adol. Are you just going to let him go? If I don't leave now, I won't be able to catch up with Adol. Well, Elena, this is goodbye.
What is there for you out there? You should stay here with us.
Without travel and adventure, my life is empty. I am an adventurer at heart. I don't like to stay in one place for long. I must be leaving, Surgitai. You take care.
Adol, wait for me! Haven't you forgotten something?
What took you so long, Dogi?
Adol, are you sure you shouldn't say goodbye to Elena?
No, she'll understand. Let's go.
Adol!
She's calling you. What are you going to do?
Oh, Adol, how can I ever thank you? I'll never forget what you've done. Your bravery, your kindness, your inspiration. Someday, Adol, someday, I know that I'll be able to see you again. Farewell, Adol.
So ends East 3, Wanderers from East. Not a great game, I would say. The side-scrolling engine is definitely on the janky side, with some choppy animation, extremely choppy parallax, and occasionally questionable hit detection. But I don't think it's entirely a bad game either. I've certainly enjoyed playing through it again. It's got some character for sure, and one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. I do hope you've enjoyed the Wanderings as well, dear viewers. Thank you again for the very kind thoughts and well-wishings on the 10-year video. And before we move on to the Exile double feature, I've got a couple of ideas for Omake, which I'll be putting together soon, and I hope to see you then. For now, however, thank you very much for watching, and that's game, Hendrix. Today's first video of the second decade has been brought to you by Justin Carpenter, Nolden, Zangamarth, Anonymous Benefactor, John Madigan, Sanguine Games, Misha Van Doren, Frank Grizzy, Tim J., Lolo De Puzzlo, Joshua C. Ritchie, Jared C. Rice, Sonic Rose, EX Potemkin, Alicia Goranson, Mechasaurus, DG Jono, Doug Russell, August Fortnite, Patrick Bellinger, Rob Lyons, Andy Kurland, Jarogue, Martin Schauenmakers, Mayo the Hedgefox, Hildegard Argelmach, IGV, Jazel, The Literary, Joseph Hall, Hot Mayo Sandwich, Dan Larson, and the rest of my greatly appreciated patrons. Thank you all immensely, and thank you everyone commenting, subscribing, and just plain watching. It's been a very pleasant wandering as always. Have a good week, and I'll see you real soon.